Greetings programs, welcome back to the Game Grid. You're back with Gaming Magic Mark. It's Baldur's Gate 3, and in this video I'm sharing a second set of 5 tips for Baldur's Gate 3 that I wish I knew when I first started playing the game. What tips can you share with other viewers? Drop them in the comments below, and check out my other tips videos in the description. Let's get going. Tip number 1. Create fire surfaces with a torch. If your character has dark vision, there's a temptation to ignore torches as loot whenever you find them because everything is bright as day anyway. But don't, because they can be really useful in a pinch as a makeshift weapon. More importantly, they can be lit, then set on the ground, and using the dip action, you can set your arrows or melee weapon ablaze for even more damage. If you're a wizard, try setting your staff on fire. Freaky. Don't put that flaming staff on your back, Gale. And another thing, even if you don't have a fire cantrip that'll do the job, combining a lit torch with a grease surface from a thrown grease bottle makes for a very nice killing zone indeed. Tip number 2, carry and move crates to create barriers for combat. I talked about how useful crates are in my first tips video, but here I'm extending their usefulness to combat setup too. Although they weigh a fair bit, having 2 or 3 of your group members carrying a crate means you can set up a combat zone that can funnel enemy melee combatants through a particular area. Using crates or barrels, you can also block doorways, allowing ranged or spellcasters to go to town on your foes without being harassed by dumb brutes with table legs and such. Enemies will break crates and barrels if they're trying to get to your party members, but the delay and use of their actions will give you an advantage they may not recover from. Tip number 3, stuck companions or minions. Sometimes companions in your party are going to be too short to jump up a level, or will get stuck in the terrain for some reason. A good example is the animate dead skeleton that cannot jump, such as in jumping only areas of the map. They're not called brain dead for no good reason. When you've got a stuck numpty, a good trick is to make sure your main character is in the desired location, hit M to bring up the menu, select the camp waypoint and teleport there. Then immediately teleport back by pressing M for map again and click leave camp. You'll find that your companion has now rejoined your group in the new location and will be feeling rather pleased with themselves, and you should too. Use this trick whenever it would save you time, even if there are paths for minions to follow. Tip number 4, a better view for the camera. Very often, the camera following a character will not be able to elevate enough to be able to select a victim for your bow or a ranged spell when that victim is on a high level or in a tower. Annoying. And sometimes, for whatever reason, the camera gets stuck in the surrounding terrain. Even more annoying. The first thing you can do is to click or double click on your character's portrait, which will move the camera and center on them. Or if you're in combat, double click on an enemy in the turn order at the top of the screen to center the view on them. Finally, if all else fails, you can press the O key on your keyboard, which provides an overhead view, and then you can use the keys or center mouse wheel as usual to elevate up or down from there. Lovely. Obviously, PS5 users, you can find the equivalent to the O key for overhead view in the PS5 controls. Tip number 5, send to camp. When what you're carrying starts to weigh too much, it's not just that you've been shopping at IKEA again. You might find that you're carrying too much food and not enough loot. In that case, there's a nice little tip for making sure you keep what you need for the campfire and not lugging around the kitchen sink when you're trying to fend off goblins and teleporting spiders. Right-click an item in your inventory and choose send to camp. You can always teleport to camp like in the earlier tip at any time to get the stuff, but it'll be especially useful when you actually want to long rest at the end of a hard day in the Forgotten Realms. Before you actually go to sleep in the camp, just head over to the 3 camp chests and find your 40 provisions that you need for a proper long rest. That's how it is in the early access, but after release, I believe it may have changed so that you don't actually have to go to the chests. It will automatically select the 40 items of food you need in order to have a proper long rest. So there you go. Those are my second set of 5 tips for starting out in Baldur's Gate 3. I hope you found them helpful. What tips do you have for viewers? Drop them in the comments below, and thanks so much as always for watching.